Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to the Nevermind Podcast. Welcome to 2019. How's it going, everybody? How you doing? This is King Cord 1. You're probably going to hear my voice be shitty because I'm still getting over a cold and I just woke up. And I don't know what to talk about. Anyways, yeah, it's 2019. And welcome to the new time, Thursdays at 6. I'm so glad I could see you guys all made it. Lauren, do you have any idea what we're going to talk about?
I have a couple.
Oh yeah?
I have a couple
That's
ideas.
Good. It's good because all I did was sleep today.
That's a well accomplished day.
Yeah, you know what? It is. I didn't wake up once. I was actually really surprised when you called. I was like, is it really 5 o'clock already? Didn't wake up once. Didn't get up to pee. Didn't get up for a coughing fit. Nothing. So
That's when you know you're getting better. You're able to actually sleep and not wake yourself up and scare yourself awake by coughing to death. And
that's happened way too many times.
I feel your pain. I've been in the same boat. That's the life of having a child. Is you get sick all the time. Yeah. And in this case, we all shared the love between all of us. So
yeah, when you have a kid, you pretty much get what everyone else has at that daycare. So
or school.
And
so like our son's in daycare still. Come on.
Well, he goes places where there's a lot of kids, and people always send their sick kids to the place.
So I apologize if either one of our voices sounds awful today, or if either one of us start hacking.
Stuffy nose, but I think we're good. Anyways, enough talking about how terrible we are as people and our immune systems. 2019, and the government is still shut down.
That's right.
Why? Do you know why? Am I asking the right person?
Yes. Short story is that the government is still shut down because Democrats and Republicans can't come to an agreement.
What are we trying to agree on? Tacos?
Funding the border wall between the U.S. and Mexico.
That's the worst, kind of decision you and I can come up with is what's for dinner. I feel like if we were the government, we would shut down the government for a little while.
Whoa. We can't do anything until we decide what's for dinner.
I want tacos, but you want Hoo Hot all the time, and I don't like Hoo Hot. Apparently you like Hoo Hot.
Hoo Hot's delicious.
Hoo Hot is kind of it's an experience. You go once, and that's it. Even for me, it's like a buffet style thing where you get your bowls and you grab all the ingredients you want to go have them grill it up, make the thing, and they're like, oh yeah, you can do this as many times as you want. But what I often find when I go to Hoo Hot is I fill up so much on the first one that by the time I'm done eating the first plate, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Don't want to be here anymore.
See, I go back and I like changing the flavors of it. My favorite is when they had the coconut curry sauce there. That was delicious. I like going there. Now, when I say change the flavor, I'm going to be completely honest. I usually get the same exact thing over and over and over again. But when they change their sauces, I do give it a little shake up and try something different.
Yeah.
But yes,
so the government is shut down because they're trying to figure out who's going to build the wall, or
it's basically
whether it's going to happen at all.
It's my understanding is the Republicans want the government since we weren't able to get Mexico to fund the wall Trump originally said. The Republicans now want the government to pay for the wall because it's a matter of national security. Whereas Democrats are like, no, we don't need to pay for that wall. The government doesn't need to pay for that wall. And it's not a...
Wait, but hold on. Who's going to pay for the wall then? Democrats?
Well, but I think most Democrats, at least I would say, this is my opinion, I don't think we need to have a wall.
I don't think we need a wall either, especially if it's going to come down to me paying for it.
Yeah, so I think...
What the heck, Democrats? I thought you were on my side.
From my understanding, that's the main divide right now. Now, there were some developments today as far as the government situation government is still shut down. However, today was all of the new elected officials were sworn in. So today the Senate, I believe,
swear people in when they're shut down.
Yeah, I don't understand. But let's see here. Believe it's the Democrats reclaimed leadership of the House.
Okay.
And the Republicans retained and actually added 2 additional seats to the Senate. So we have a Democratic majority in the House, we have a Republican majority in the Senate.
You can just add seats?
No.
You're just like, you're going to be majority of the House?
No, we're not.
We're gonna add
what
a
I mean is
here.
that those seats were previously Democrat filled.
Oh, okay.
And now they're filled by a Republican.
Okay.
That's what
I mean. Nobody brought their own chairs from home.
No, I don't think they'll. I don't think they'd let you bring your own chairs from home just so you could say.
But it's a really nice chair.
No luck.
All right.
But so that's what happened. Now, one thing that's really a big deal for especially people that are not just Democrats, but they had now in the government we have the most amount, I believe, of female members of the House and Senate. I think we have our first Muslim American that was elected. First openly gay representative. I'm not sure. There was a lot of firsts this year as far as elected officials. There was a lot
of women, wasn't there?
There was a record-breaking number of women this year.
Yeah.
I can look that up now.
There you go. Tell us those stats.
Well, currently... Oh, hang on. I don't know if it's been updated yet. Okay, here we go.
Life? What's Blue Wave?
Blue Wave is the Democrat... basically the Democrats... slogan for trying to get people really excited and getting more Democratic officials into power than Republican. Really quick before we go on, I just wanted to say, for the 2019 to 2021 the 116th Congress, there is now 127 women in Congress.
That's like
20%. 23.7% are women.
I was off by 5.
Still isn't quite equal with the amount of men out there, but it's definitely increasing. To compare that, the last session there was 104 women, 19.4% were women. So that jumped quite a bit from just one session.
Yeah.
I don't think it's jumped that much since it looks like the 102nd Congress, which was 91 to 93. It hasn't jumped. It's still the largest jump by far, but we haven't seen that much of a jump since then. In 91 to 93, there was 6.2% women, and then 93 to 95, it jumped up to 10.3. So quite a bit. Definitely Blue Wave for life. Hopefully Blue Wave continues. That would be amazing.
The Blue Wave for life,
in my opinion.
It could be something good. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. But it reminds me of a video that they used to play for us.
Really out of focus.
Are we out of focus?
On there, it looks like we're out of focus. On my computer, it looks like we're really out of focus, too.
Oh, really? Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Let me see here real quick. Blah, 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 blah. Where do I go?
On your camera?
No, I know. I wanted to get it up there so I can have a better... How did I get so out of focus? This camera is so weird.
There you go. That's better.
I think that's as good as it's going to get.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. It's so awkward. Anyways, Blue Wave for Life reminds me of a video they used to play for us in high school, which was basically about a high school, I think, in California, that decided to let the kids come up with different factions, like different teams or whatever. And one of them was called The Wave. And they even came up with like a hand sign or gesture, like The Wave. And it started to slowly, like, basically the whole video is about how, like, it started to slowly start to mimic, like, Nazis and Germany.
Gotcha.
And, like, having, like, their, like, huge leader was, like, one of the jocks in school. And everyone praised him, and everyone in the hall would be like, The Wave. Every time they saw him, they're like, oh, Herr Führer, or whatever the fuck, how do you say it?
I have no idea.
Basically, Hitler. It's like, salute Hitler. Anyway, so your Blue Wave kind of reminds...
Heil?
Yeah, Heil.
Heil?
Heil Hitler.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad. Dropped the ball. I left you hanging.
So...
Won't happen again.
That's what that reminds me of. Anyways, so yeah. Government's closed. Bullshit reasons. Democrats apparently are... I feel like they're trying to turn around and say, well, we have a bunch of citizens who can pay for this wall. And so...
Now, let's not get off topic, but here's an obscure story about an old video that we watched over a decade ago.
It was actually. It was more than... I think I might have watched it in middle school. I can't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, over a decade ago.
Do you remember that video, or am I just crazy?
I've never heard of that video, so I
believe
think
it's
you're
called
crazy.
The Wave.
I think, yeah, good luck Google searching that and finding
The
it.
Wave, totally not a surf movie. Like you can't say much. I am the world's worst at staying on topic. Yeah,
right? It's hard.
We're all terrible at staying on topic.
But that's normal with any conversation, so.
So, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I'm not really big on New Year's resolutions in general, but if I had to say that I had one, I would just continue. For those of you that are watching or listening, you may not be aware, but I've been really trying to focus on my health and nutrition lately. It's a slow but steady process.
It tastes like...
I am talking,
I'm
sir.
sorry. Go ahead.
Sir.
Continue.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
I
wouldn't have this flack with Nick.
Yeah, Nick would just let you talk right over him, and then he would start back up again.
He would be like,
anyway,
okay, whatever.
So for those of you that don't know, I've been focusing on health and nutrition a lot. Initially, I was focused more on working out because that's something that I normally don't do very much. But then I was focusing on controlling portions. Now I'm building in on top of all of that some nutrition part of it too, and so I've been researching a lot of that. And
you've been doing the Beachbody.
I have been. I did. I'm almost at the end of my 21-day fix from Beachbody.
It's almost been 21 days.
Yeah, it almost has. As of Sunday will be my last day.
So what do you do?
What do I do after?
Yeah, do you go on like a different...
I've got to figure that out. Either I can repeat...
7-day plan?
I can either repeat 21-day fix again. I can do... Apparently there's a 21-day fix extreme. Oh. Or I can do one of the other Beachbody programs. Or there's Beachbody on Demand.
You're going to go hardcore and just do P90X.
No, I cannot for the life of me do P90X yet.
Extreme! 21-day fix!
Yeah.
Every time I hear 21-day fix, I think of like somebody going on a 21-day bender on something.
I mean, kind of. Bender on nutrition and exercise.
Bender on health.
Yeah. So if I had to say that I had a New Year's resolution, it would just be to continue focusing on my health and making that a priority.
Yeah.
And also kind of it's kind of a double thing as well, because I feel
double-edged sword?
No, like a dual resolution.
They have you play with swords?
Dual resolution, because I I also feel like by working out, that's kind of been my new me time. So I've really enjoyed having that
time?
little bit of me time to myself. That
You don't
it's time for me.
Anymore?
Are you gonna talk over every single thing I say? I'm gonna punch you on air. I will. But I enjoy focusing on myself for a little bit. Just taking that like 30 minutes to an hour just to focus on myself and how I feel and all of that. And I think that helps in a number of different ways. So, how about you? Do you have a resolution for the new year?
Yeah, but it's kind of boring because like it's the same one that everyone does every year. Where they're like, I'm gonna get healthy, new year, new me.
Yeah, but I think
so. I've decided that I'm not gonna do a 21-day fix, but I've decided that I was gonna cut back on like portions on food, and I cut pop out. I'm gonna cut juices out. This is
as you're drinking a...
Well, this isn't really like a juice. It's a flavored water, but it's antioxidant infused water. It's Bai. I think that's pronounced Bai.
Yeah.
BAI.
Not sponsored.
It's the watermelon. It's the Kula watermelon flavor. It's 5 calories.
We're not sponsored.
Tasty, tasty,
Zombie!
Tasty. Isn't juice flavored water? No. And I can't tell you why it's not, but I could just assure you that it's not. But
depends if it's real juice or not. If it's like,
I feel like juice.
Is it fresh juice? Did you go out and squeeze the orange yourself to make that juice?
I feel like juice though has to have sugar, and this doesn't have sugar. Okay, this has 1 gram of sugar.
But if it
so
were real
technically,
juice,
this is a juice.
Technically, any juice is going to have sugar because fruits have sugar naturally.
Right. But they say like if you're trying to lose weight, Happy New Year, zombie. They're saying if you're trying to lose weight, you need to avoid juices because even like naturally squeezed juices have a lot of sugar. And so, we got a new sub from Zombie. Thanks,
Yay,
Zombie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick said earlier for the resub. So I'm gonna
hope
be.
You guys like those new graphics. I think the new alert graphics are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Not by me. They're totally borrowed from Streamlabs, but.
Well, not borrowed. We installed it from Streamlabs.
Streamlabs widget.
But the only thing I don't like about it is you can't use your own sounds. So.
Well, at least we haven't played around with it enough yet to see if we can. I think you can.
We're still looking into new stuff.
We're noobs.
My New Year's resolution is to be healthy, and I'm going to start exercising more, getting some more yoga in.
Some yoga.
But there's something I really want to talk about.
Zombie says you can change the sounds.
Oh.
So we'll have to play with it a little further. Thanks.
But there is something that I really want to talk about.
Uh-oh.
It's because yoga or yoga?
Yoga, but I was saying it in the Ermagerd voice. Yerger.
So, I'm fat, right?
You are?
Yeah.
I didn't know. No, we both are.
Doctor said I've got 300 pounds to lose.
300 pounds? No, you don't have 300 pounds to lose. There would be nothing left of you.
There would be nothing left of you.
I'm sorry. Could you do that one more time so that the people in the back can hear it, please?
There would be nothing left of you. Anyways, so yeah, I'm fat, right? So I have to you gotta buy clothes. You gotta wear clothes apparently in society, and I'm limited to 2 fucking places on getting clothes, and it's starting to tick me off, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get into shape. Then you need to do DPP Yoga Challenge 16 weeks. Change could win $1 million. Would only ask for half as a finder's fee. Okay, well, I'll give you half. Anyways, I'm basically down to like J.C. Penney's, which is basically like this is a shirt from J.C. Penney's. But what I've noticed is like it's kind of like half-assed fucking. What is it?
King Cord after losing 300 pounds.
It's kind of like shitty, like half-assed work because like the prints are always like kind of off to the side and like it was almost like they're just like fuck it, I don't care.
Well, I think.
And then I'm down to like online basically, like either fucking Amazon or
king size,
and sometimes like even on Amazon, or sometimes I'll see like a cool shirt on Facebook, which I know is like a terrible place to shop for anything, but like it'll say like, oh yeah, this is 5X, and you're like, oh sweet, that's a pretty cool looking shirt, and it's in my size, I'm gonna get it. Yeah. So you get it, and it's like it says 5X, but for like China, which is like a completely different standard, because they're like, oh, you're not small, you're a medium, that's actually 5X. And so you get it, and it's like you can barely put it on.
It's like not even a 2X in US sizes.
It's not even a medium sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of like going to the stores and seeing I'm stuck on Meow Meow Japanese history. I miss having my shirt made in Aerodrome. We get Chinese 1 and 2 XL and the other year, and no one can fit into them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm tired of going to like cool stores and going to stores with my friends who can like obviously shop there because they're way smaller than me, and seeing all these like really cool like fucking clothes, and I'm like,
yeah.
Like one time I went to the Buckle. Okay, here's my 2 experiences for the Buckle. If you don't know what the Buckle is, it's kind of like a cheap designer clothing store for skinny people. And the first time I walked in there, this was a long time ago. This was a couple sizes ago, but I was still too big to shop there. The first time I went in there, cashier immediately came up to me and said, "Can I help you find a gift card, sir?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "No, I'm looking for some clothes." And she's like, "Oh, you might have to go online to see if we have any bigger sizes." And I was like, immediately I was like, "Holy shit. I just got fat shamed by the cashier."
Yep.
And I just swore that place off for years. Well, then, like, I kind of forgot about it, and I went with my friends the other day. And I went in there, and I'm just kind of standing around holding my friends' bags. And one of the sales associates comes up and goes, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Can I help you find something?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, there's nothing here that I can find." And they're like, "Well, what's your size?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm big and tall." Like, I'm trying to be like, "Don't worry about it, bro."
You're like, I know you don't have that size. Yeah, I know you don't. It's have okay. My size. I've accepted it. Move on.
He's like, "Well, try me." And I'm like, "Okay, fine. I guess size 50 pants, 50, 30, and 4X or 5X." And he's like, "Yeah, I guess we don't have those sizes." but then you think, "Oh, he just drop it, and we'll act like this never happened." Mm-hmm. But instead, he goes to his manager, who's like this like airheaded like lady, and she comes up with like a size 46R, which I have no idea there was R's.
Regular.
And she's like,
regular.
She stood there and tried to insist that I was a 46. She's like,
no, I think I know how big my waist is. Yeah. Thank you.
I was standing there. She's like, "Are you sure you're not a 46R?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure I'm not a 46R."
Pretty sure.
And she's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, she's holding it up and she's looking at me. And I'm like, just because you can hold it up doesn't mean that's gonna fucking fit. Like, Jesus Christ. I was like, "What do you want me to do? Go in the changing room and like come out with it like barely buttoned and like, see? I'm a 50.
Just come out with your pants unzipped and everything. Yeah. Like, your whole junk just hanging out. Like, sorry, it doesn't fit. That's what the extra 4 inches were for. It's just for my junk to fit. Sorry."
And then she's like, "Well, where do you shop?" I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm just limited to 2 stores. Like, I'm sure there's more stores."
By her saying, "Well, where do you shop?" That's kind of implying like, "Oh, well, if we don't, he'd need an extra 12 inches for that. Damn straight.
Yeah.
But like implying that, well, oh my God, if you don't fit into our sizes, how do you fit into anything? Like,
Yeah.
where do you shop?
Yeah, like
how big are you?
Do you make your own clothes? Like it's. Well, here's the thing: is like it's that hard for me, and mostly it's because of where I live. I live in a fucking one-horse town in the middle of America.
No. We are not a one-horse town.
We're a fucking one.
We are the second biggest town in Nebraska.
We're a one-horse, two-star town in the middle of the Midwest, where no like progressive thinkers live.
Court is calling us a small town because of the fact that we're not like as big as Chicago or Los Angeles or, you know, New York or wherever.
We want to be like those. We have the attitude.
We're part of the Silicon Prairie.
But there's nothing out here. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is it's that hard for me. It's 5 times harder for women. Because the clothing stores basically just say whatever the fuck they want about what size it is. And so, you know, like a 4 to this company is like a fucking 7 to the other.
Yep. It depends on not only the store, but it depends on the manufacturer, and it depends on just the type of item itself. Like, so I can go to, for example, we were at Gordman's. It's a local chain. We were at
we have a horse with Wi-Fi.
We had, hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, Stinky Glands, how's it going? How do you feel about what?
Euthanasia?
Well, I like European food.
That's not at all what he's asking.
What's your take on
youth in Asia?
I love the youth in Asia.
But like back to sizing and everything, it definitely is difficult. The struggle is real. I can go to Gordman's. I can find 2 pairs of jeans. They're both in the size that I think that I'm supposed to be in, but one is just a little too big for me, and then the other one I put on, I can't even get it buttoned. Like, yeah. Same with shirts or whatever. It just depends. And also, can I just add that definitely feel free. Ask whatever questions you want.
You kind of like right off as soon as the light turned green, you're like, ask those questions.
Yeah, no questions off limits. I'm gonna regret saying that in about 15 minutes.
You're gonna regret it.
But yeah, and it's hard to find sizes and have the same sizing, universal sizing across the board. However, it's even harder if a woman is gifted in the chest area. If you got large boobs, it gets difficult to find stuff that looks right. So
no questions off limit when I'm in the room.
Okay, now you're making me really nervous.
Yourself.
But I guess this is kind of turning into an Ask Me Anything in a way.
A little bit.
Feel free. Ask
away. Us anything. If anybody wants to talk in the Discord, let me know. We'd love to have you in. We had Before You Shout last time, which apparently he's been trying to get hold of me, and I keep neglecting to get in touch with him.
You're the worst.
Do you recommend Taint Licks or Immense Pleasure?
For Immense Pleasure.
Oh, I forgot the F there. Only if it's Nancy.
I just did a Nick laugh. On air. How often does that happen?
There's nothing wrong with Taint Licks. I've never received any Taint Licks, but I would assume there's nothing wrong with it. Because Laureline is going to join. He wants to set up new D&D campaigns with us, I think. Nothing wrong with Taint Licks, probably. Yeah, I think he's trying to get You think he'd be here? He said he was gonna be here.
It's okay. Maybe something came up. It's a new night and everything too. So
yeah. It's a new night, right?
Not everybody can show up.
It's
all
after
night,
6 p.m. Guys, let us know how you feel about the new time. Thanks, Mike. Mike sounds good. Thanks. So do you, Mike. It's like licking a savory.
Oh my god,
bag.
cringe.
What?
Mike sounds good. So do you, Mike. Oh my god.
I'd like to shit out Nancy's butthole.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
In other news, back to our government topic. She is now the Speaker of the House.
Nancy is?
Yes.
Oh god.
And just as of today, her butthole is haunted.
When you're eating ass, should you be sucking or blowing? I believe blowing.
I don't know if we can answer that question.
I guess I would try blowing first. I've done it once. She was uncomfortable.
I think he's talking about licking Nancy's butthole.
Nancy, okay. And they're aware that you go.
See, there's our resident sexpert, Nixit, chiming in there.
Toes girl, keep doing it. How can you see her toes, though, if you're, like, face buried into her ass? Low into her anus?
For some reason, she didn't want to kiss me. Nix, you are a resident sexpert. I feel like you should have, like, a badge, like a title.
I wish we could. Is there a way you can make custom badges to apply?
I think so. I think there is. I just haven't done it and played around with it enough. That sounds awkward given our topic we're talking about.
We'll make Nix a badge. Rest your hand on the toes to make sure. Oh, okay. I get it. I get you now.
The funny thing is, he speaks from experience.
So, how's it going?
Well, you know.
Any other topics? Because we're like 45 minutes in and we have now hit a wall.
It's okay.
Where we let the chat take over. Has there been
any
gaming news? That's no beard he wears. His face is worn from all the licking.
Oh my god.
Should you ask permission before a thumb insertion? No.
Depends.
I never ask. Just do it. Let's go. Bloop.
It depends though if you're in like a steady relationship and you know that person likes it.
Yeah, just but saying. I mean, if you really want to be with a girl who doesn't like it, like you got to figure that stuff out before you get into the relationship. She likes it, relationship. No, don't waste your time.
Gaming news. Nix is so into D&D lately. If you're so into D&D, then why don't we get the other D&D set up with Shout?
Yeah, we're joining the new campaign.
Yeah, we are gonna join the new sci-fi. I
gotta get in touch with before.
Fuck, I have no idea what characters though.
I don't
know. No idea.
Red Dead 2 bored me to tears. Really?
What? Zombie, you're like crushing King Cord 1's dreams right now.
Red Dead 2 is my life.
He actually, true story, had to go out and buy himself a cowboy hat so that every time that he's playing Red Dead Redemption 2, he has to wear that hat. He also proceeds to go up to any animal, doesn't matter whether it's a dog or a cat, whatever, and says, "You're all right, girl."
Do you do that, though?
Yeah, you do it to everything.
Smash Ultimate, though. Is it on the Switch? Is Smash on the Switch? Because I'm kind of sad now that I got rid of my Switch.
I don't know.
Is there anything cool coming out? Like, I remember, I can't remember. I was seeing something on Instagram about, no, it was on YouTube, and it's like, titles to be excited for in 2019. And I'm like, was there any titles that were teased for 2019?
Oh, that's really sad, Zombie. I'm sad that you didn't you didn't like it, but
Use it
I
as a
understand.
Frisbee?
To each their own.
Break my heart. Break my heart. I still.
And he definitely
Zombie.
got a physical copy then if he wanted to use it as a Frisbee.
Yeah, which is weird.
Him and Nick's both do that, though.
Such
They
an
get the
honest
physical
man.
copies, and we just get the digital.
Nick gets the physical copies too. I only get the digital because let me tell you a story. I used to work at a video game store. I used to work at a gaming store called Gamers.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy,
a gaming store
right?
called Gamers?
Crazy. And I worked there for
Let's get physical.
a couple months. I worked there for the summer.
Sorry.
And it was really great. It was awesome. And I was doing really good there. And one day they had this thing where they would hire people, or the owner of the company would basically call the stores and act as the secret shopper. And when they do that to test us to see if we had the right information, or see if we would like do any under the table deals or whatever, because apparently that was like a big thing. And apparently like one of the big no-nos in the video game world is to sell a new title before its release date, because the companies would ship the game to the stores before the release date so they can get all the commercial stuff and the vending shit up, like the cardboard stands and all that fun shit. And so we were working that summer, and I think it was like NCAA 2011 or something. And they had it written down, though not really written. They had it printed down and then they laminated it and they stuck it onto the counter. But it was basically all the titles that are coming out, what date it's coming out, and how much it was going to be. Well, I get a call, and I don't know it's a secret shopper, but it was my company's owner. He calls up our store. I happen to be the douchebag who answered the fucking phone call. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I was just wondering when NCAA was coming out and how much it was." And so I was like, "Let me look." So I go to our cheat sheet that's taped to the counter. And I was like, NCAA 2011 comes out the 3rd or something. I can't remember what the date was or whatever. And it was gonna be $60 fucking dollars, just like every other fucking new video game title, right? So I tell him that. He goes, "Okay, thank you, bye." And the next day, I go into work and I try to log into my register, and it's not working. And I'm thinking, I keep typing it in wrong. So I do it maybe 60 times, try to log in. I finally give up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I turn around, and my manager is like, "Hey, can I speak to you in the back?" And I'm like,
you're like, "Oh shit."
I was like, "Oh, okay, fuck. I must be getting fired since I can't log in." And he's like, "Yeah, we have to let you go because you apparently gave the wrong date to the secret shopper." I was like, "That's impossible. I used the thing. I used the cheat sheet." And he goes, "Yeah, well, I wasn't supposed to tell you guys this, but they made us put out the wrong ones to trick you guys, and tried to hope that you guys would pick up that it's the wrong date and go find the real one." And I'm like, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
Like, why?
And
Why?
He's like, "I just have to do what they tell me what to do." And I'm like, "So basically, you're setting up a bunch of people to get fired then?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, dude. I have to let you go. Like, this is complete total bullshit. I'll never buy a physical copy game ever. I'm going straight digital, and eventually my actions will put you guys out of business."
And you know what?
They went out of business
They
this year.
just went out of business.
That's right.
I'm not saying that we were the sole reason they went out of business.
I was the sole reason why they went out of business. So yeah, that's my story about physical copies.
All right.
Let me catch up on chat real quick. 'Cause this shit went crazy.
Just chat got really dark for a little bit, so just skip ahead. It's okay.
What do you mean it got dark?
It got really dark. You can go back later and see it.
All right, fine. I'll go back later.
So yeah.
Does shitting on someone's face count as intercourse? No, no, that is a crime.
A crime?
Yeah, it's a crime.
Okay. So moving on, I was looking at some gaming news, gaming headlines. Apparently there's somebody that's coming out that wants to take on Xbox and PlayStation.
Like a new console?
Yeah.
Good luck.
They're apparently Slightly Mad Studios. Slightly Mad Studios, who's the developer behind the racing sims Project Cars and Need for Speed Shift.
Okay.
A surprise announcement was made on Twitter today to announce an incoming console called the Mad Box. They have the full tweet below, but it basically says, "What is the Mad Box? It's the most powerful console ever built. It's literally mad. You want 4K, you want VR at 60 frames per second, you want a full engine for free to develop your games on, you have it." So that's kind of a cool thing.
I don't know if that's gonna last. I feel bad for anyone trying to do that at the moment.
A few people are calling them out on the fact that VR, the standard is 90 frames per second per eye, and he put 60. So there's a little bit on that they probably have to fix. But I mean, it definitely sounds like it could be.
Madbox is more like a stream box. It's just a micro built PC.
Oh, I gotcha.
But hey, Soldier Boy's coming out with some consoles. Have you heard about that? God. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't. But
Soldier Boy is getting into the gaming market. He made the Soldier Boy console. He made the Soldier Boy handheld. He made... Oh, and by the way, when I say he didn't make anything at all. He actually paid Chinese companies to make knockoffs and told them to put his name on it. And so, look it up. It's hilarious. He's got like a knockoff like Wii-looking console. He's got a knockoff Wii-looking... Wii U looking like handheld.
They've already been pulled.
He's got one.
They've already pulled them. They're not for sale anymore.
He had one that's called Retro that looked like a Game Boy. But then he's like, Soldier Boy doesn't just limit himself to video games. He also has a phone, which is actually a HomTom, which is actually a Chinese phone. Hey, Maven. Which is actually a Chinese phone, which is a really good phone in China, apparently. But when they get shipped here to like America, he apparently struck a deal with them to sell it as a soldier phone.
Yeah, he also apparently has done the same thing with a Soldier Watch, which is an Apple Watch.
Yeah, a knockoff, and like some from knockoff AirPods too. So
yeah.
hey Mavis, Happy New Year.
Mavens,
sorry.
Mavis.
I don't know why I said Mavis. Oh my god, I was just reading about this 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, apparently they've already pulled all of everything off the market.
He had his own website, but he was also selling through Amazon.
Someone filed a notice. I'm assuming it's a copyright.
Nintendo. I think it was Nintendo.
Because they had the retro.
The retro that looked just like
Retro Mini. Looks just like a Game Boy Mini or Game Boy Color.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Okay, so then I was also looking another thing that was just posted.
To recreate an 87
Metal Gear Doom will attempt to recreate the 1987 stealth classic in first person, which was Hideo Kojima's series debut for the Doom series debut. They're trying to convert the Metal Gear into to the Doom engine.
Okay. That'd be fun.
So it was originally released as a top-down 8-bit game that released on the original Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. But now he wants to make it first person, basically, in Doom style.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. There's currently a playable demo on Mod B.
Although the game was first personable. I mean, the game
has first person capability.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that. I thought it was just top down from Nintendo.
It says that
just a mod original and use first person cameras. Yeah. By the way, Nixit, how's your game going? Is it complete yet?
I love how you just did like the, oh my god, how was your game, girl?
I just assumed.
Don't play Atlas. Like that Atlas. First one. Not even close to compete. Well, hopefully your game is going smoothly though, and it will.
How far along are you? Do you have enemies and goals and stuff now, or don't listen to zombie? Don't play Atlas.
I feel like there's like a love-hate relationship going on. First game I ever got a refund on.
Nope.
Wow.
Oh, dang, what have you been doing this whole time, Nixit? So I just got Steam. Zombie hates everything that's loved.
Just
building practice mechanics, zoning, and ultra basic combat. Oh, okay.
He got super into D&D once again. So what that means is that he started doing those things, got distracted by, like, he's like, well, I could do the game, or there's D&D, so I'm going to go with D&D. And then he just did that, like, every single day.
Who are you D&Ding then? Are you D&Ding with B4? You guys started without us?
Are you still doing D&D with your family? Wasn't you? Weren't you doing D&D with your sister?
He probably is doing with his sister.
So it's probably that. There's no details about it right now other than it's assumed it's going to be a card-based game, but there's a new Marvel-based card game or something that's in the works right now.
Boring. Is that a mobile app? Is that a mobile game?
I don't think so.
I don't like especially like card-based games that are in video game format.
I got you, Nix. But I did bring up a list of titles to look forward to in 2019.
All right, let's hear this.
So, the first one listed is Anthem, which is BioWare. It says BioWare's Last Stand. Now, I've seen quite a few previews for Anthem, and it looks pretty awesome, I think. So,
oh, yeah?
Let's look here. It's comparable to Destiny. Like, it says it's a shooter similar to Destiny. The game was delayed to 2019.
Zombie said he played the alpha. It was delayed in 2018?
It was delayed until 2019.
Oh, okay.
Basically, the last game, the Mass Effect Andromeda, didn't really wow anybody. So BioWare's got a lot riding on this. That basically they need this game to be successful to stay alive. It says Anthem will pit players known as freelancers against giant both monsters and also world-altering natural threats like so-called Shaper Storms. Players' suits, also called Javelins, will be upgradable and come in a number of different styles that dictate characters' classes. There's room for a good multiplayer shared world shooter too.
Zombie says it's Destiny, Halo, Mass Effect, and Titanfall had a gangbang. And then Nick's like, pro description for real.
I think that it sounds pretty awesome, but you and I both know that I'm not the primary target for this, and I'm not... I haven't played all of those games that Zombie listed, so...
Played well, got to admit, and more interesting having played the campaign for a few hours.
Anthem comes out February 22nd.
There's a game that's coming out. Yeah, I'm assuming sometime in 2019, since it's already 2019.
That sounds weird to say still.
Right. That the creators of Fallout New Vegas did, and supposedly it's supposed to be like the best game ever, and it's supposed to like beat Bethesda and everything, because it's not done by Bethesda. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But it's supposed to be like a space adventure. Oh yeah, there's a new Devil May Cry. coming out. That was
Yeah.
strange to me. Psychonauts 2 is coming out. What was that?
Wasteland 3.
No Ace, the Wasteland.
The
3.
late 80s role playing game that inspired Fallout and its sequels is going to get an official follow up.
Valley of the Gods.
Adventure game set in the Wyoming wilderness.
Okay, sounds interesting. You gotta do puzzles. Alright. Cyberpunk 2077.
That kind of looks cool.
I'm already liking what I'm seeing.
Should be an RPG worth waiting for.
Obsidian hold on.
Obsidian developed?
Obsidian developed it. They were just purchased by Microsoft. Let's see here. Feel the Power Surge 2. It's all kind of like just...
I don't know, like...
Can't remember what it's called. Oh, my head. That one does look interesting, though. Which one was that? The game is called... The Outer Worlds. That's what it's called. The game that I was talking about that was made by...
Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out.
Finally.
Expected release date's January 25th. That's actually really soon.
That's like a lot of days away from here.
That's just a couple weeks. It's the
a couple
3rd.
weeks.
It says that's a long time after Kingdom Hearts 2, 4,786 days, in fact, although who's counting?
Yeah, right. Feels longer, though.
There's a few trailers out if you guys want to check those out.
I have no time for Paintbrush Mickey.
Yeah, I personally am not a fan of Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, I love Kingdom Hearts.
But I know you are. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Exactly. I don't get it at all.
You just don't get that. I think you just don't like it because it's got Disney involved in it.
It's not. It's and not that it's got Disney involved.
You're too much of like, I'm a big kid now. I don't need to look at Disney.
No, I just find it weird, and I find it too childish and too like, I don't know, not childish. That's the wrong word for it, but
She's calling us childish, guys.
Anyway, that's just I don't think so. Are you thinking Bethesda rebooted? They're doing a Wolfenstein Youngblood?
No, we just talked about it earlier. It's called The Outer Worlds.
Oh,
it's made by the people who did New Vegas, Obsidian, and it looks pretty good. And a lot of people are thinking it's going to topple over Bethesda. And I guess the hopes is that Obsidian would take over the Fallout franchise. Metro Exodus looks insane. Can we look up Metro Exodus?
Exodus travels from the tunnels to the streets.
Ooh.
Make sure, let's see here. You're no longer confined to the subway tunnels. With Exodus, the Metro series is going semi-open world with levels 10 times bigger than those found in Last Light. Every stage will offer hours worth of things to do, if you can manage to survive, of course. In Metro Exodus, you'll carefully need to manage your supplies, craft your own weapons, and be very, very careful if you want to survive a full year in the Russian nuclear winter. As per series tradition, radioactive mutants will return, but really it's Metro's world that has us jazzed. This is the article I'm reading. A dynamic weather system and real-time day-to-night cycle look like they'll help make Metro Exodus one of the most convincing post-apocalyptic settings of all time.
Real time. So that means like if it's nighttime outside, it's nighttime in the game?
Yep.
What? No more of these like accelerated days? Where it's like days are like 15 minutes long. That's crazy. Rage 2. Let's hear about Rage 2.
Let's see here. It says its post-apocalyptic landscape looks like it's something straight out of Mad Max. Rage 2 co-developer Avalanche Studios has proved that it can handle digital mayhem just fine with its work on the Just Cause franchise. Mm-hmm. Rage 2's overdrive mechanic sounds a lot like Doom's fantastic glory kill system, which rewarded players for being as aggressive and brutal as possible. The more of that, the better. Keep the pretty graphics, give it some variety, and add some individual quirks to make the gameplay. And Rage... excuse me. Rage 2 could end up being the 2019 sleeper hit. Ooh. We just have to wait and see. It cool does not give a release date on there. Resident Evil 2.
He prefers what? Back to Raccoon City with Resident Evil 2? Or are they just remaking it? Remastering it? I get kind of tired of like
2 separate but connected campaigns, but this isn't the same game that scared you silly back on the PS1. The frustrating and stiff tank controls are gone, replaced by a modern over-the-shoulder camera, and enemies are tougher than before. New iteration uses modern technology to deliver some of the most realistic gore ever seen in a video game.
I mean, that just sounds kind of boring to me. Like, why don't you just make a new Resident Evil game? Like, you could do like the Resident Evil 2 storyline or like the characters, whatever. Just make it a different game. Don't remake the old one. That's just me. Anyways, Nixon says he prefers accelerated days because full days feel a little weird to him.
Well, because if you think about it, especially if it's something that you have to wait until tomorrow to do something, you're like, oh God, I really have to wait until tomorrow. Like, I can't.
Just change the clock on your PlayStation. Just smelled my dinner from hours ago and put...
oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Lettuce wrap. Put the whole thing in my mouth and squeeze sour cream in afterwards.
It's not the only thing you put on your mouth hole.
Full days only work if you are a bum like me.
True.
I guess so.
Nick's a bum. No, I'm just kidding. We love you, Nick.
Think about it. It's a special where you have to attack a place at dawn, but your dawn is like 7 to 8 a.m. Yeah, if you're someone like Nick's at 2, you sleep until...
Or if you're someone who's Nick's, your dawn is like at least noon. Like...
It's true. Someone who works could never do that challenge. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or you could just... I would assume you could just change your system's clock, though.
I don't know.
But I guess that would be daunting, too. Every time you have to go change it. Anyways, so that's video games coming out 2019. I recently installed Steam on this computer, so I'm planning on getting a little PC action going on here pretty soon. I don't know whether I'm going to put it here on the podcast or just put it on my regular channel, but if you guys are interested in seeing me do some PC gaming...
regular channel? You have no other channel besides this.
Yeah, I have King Cord 1 channel.
No.
Are you doing a bit?
I mean, this is the most important channel, so why would you tell people to go anywhere else?
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll put it on this channel, I guess.
God,
it's just gonna be confusing.
You're just like crushing all of my like PR dreams here. Like,
what do you mean?
Carry on.
They still come here for the podcast, but they could go to my channel to see me play video games. Anyways, just letting you guys know, I got Steam. Gonna see some PC gaming. Between one of the fucking channels.
One brand, bitch. Zombie gets it. Fuck you.
I can't wait to see you play Fortnite. I'll play Fortnite with you. I don't have a problem playing Fortnite.
I would totally give it. I have not tried Fortnite, to be honest, but I would honestly give it a try.
I feel like you would go crazy.
Don't
cross the streams. As Ghostbusters taught you nothing. I'm so bad at Fortnite.
That means you would be awesome if you streamed, though. It'd be hilarious to watch you fail. Just like it'd be hilarious to watch us fail, because We're gonna suck.
Actually, every time I played Fortnite, I got #1 victory.
No, that is a bullshit lie.
It's not a lie.
That is a lie. I witnessed you. You did not win every single time.
When did you witness me?
I witnessed you several occasions. Don't ask me when, but I witnessed you. I saw it.
Don't ask me when.
I saw it with my own two eyes.
Walk off a cliff.
Talk about rage. King Cord rages. He rage quits all the time.
I did rage quit a lot.
It's like, God damn it, they're fucking cheaters. They're using bots. They're whatever. Like,
when I was playing Call of Duty like a while ago, what was that? During the summer. And every time I kept losing, I'm like, God damn, fucking cheaters got bots, motherfucker. Aim assist, piece of shit.
Like,
Done with this game.
There was seriously a point where I had to cut Cord off of Black Ops because he would get so pissed off the rest of the night that I didn't want to, like, be around you. You were the worst.
The controller disassembled
itself.
Yeah,
I never raged. The controller did that by itself. I just looked at it and it went poof and it's gone. Yeah, so there's...
So, that was 2019 gaming. Zombie, just to let you know, I still haven't mailed your poster because everywhere I go, they tell me it's going to be like $500. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get it to you that doesn't cost me $500. I guess you can look up here real quick.
Yeah,
I have the poster in a frame. I need to figure out a way to get it to you safely and on a cheap way to get there. I also have a big tin of Pez. It comes with one Pez dispenser, but it comes with a fuck ton of Pez candies. That I wanted to send you because that's what you said you wanted, but apparently everyone says I can't ship them together, so I'm probably gonna have to ship them separately. Don't worry, I haven't got to the post office either, but that's only because I have been sick. Walking is the enemy right now. Be still with my beating heart. That's cool. And I hope you.
Isn't getting sick the worst?
Yeah, we've both been.
I don't know if it's like a viral sickness or if it's like a chronic illness or whatever, but either way, it sucks.
We hope you start.
What third world backwater do you live in?
Pretty shitty one. So I hope you start to feel better soon if you haven't already. But just wanted to update you on that. Now that it's after the holidays, hopefully we can figure it out and get it out to you soon. We got to update our merch. I think we did.
We did, yep, and then we just haven't had any shows since then.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been on. Potassium for days, yeah. Potassium, vitamin C, that stuff helps great.
No, he said apparently my blood is made of bananas. Potassium for days.
Oh, nice. That's a good thing.
That's not a good...
Potassium's good, right?
In limited amount, like it... At whatever the level
it's
supposed to be at. God damn it, Cord. Why do you do this all the time?
I've been eating
God damn it, I can't do this anymore.
I've been eating bananas for every meal for the past 60 days.
We did update some... we added some new merch to the merch store using our new logo. Ooh. So we've got a new shirt, mug, and poster out there for now.
We still have the classic ones on
all
there.
The classics are still out there too, so...
What do you guys think of the new logo and the new look? Is it shitty?
Wow.
Because she did it. If it's shitty.
Ouch. I feel like you're getting back at me for the Kingdom Hearts thing. Like, I feel like you're just stabbing me. See, Nyx likes it. Thanks, Nyx. You're my new favorite now.
Logo was awesome. Cool.
Thanks, Zombie. You're my favorite also.
I'm working on a new background. This is just a temporary background. It's fine. It works right now, but planning on...
It's fine.
You just did the Trump hands.
I did the Trump hands.
Oh no.
What have you done to me?
They're gonna come for you. You have 7 days. My dad apparently is trying to call me. Anyways, I'm planning on taking all the pictures that I have around here and throwing on here to make my own kind of Nixit wall. Yes, I stole that idea from Nixit. We've already went through this before.
Build a wall! Not that wall! Not that wall! United Kingdom. What's the value of the item that would be getting mailed? $50?
No, I would say it's like $20. It's not. I mean, how much is our poster? It's like $12. Why did you hear my? Oh, because I
walked away. Why did I hear my name?
Because I was explaining.
Because you're my favorite. Because you like the logo, and Zombie is my favorite too.
We were talking about huge penises.
Yes.
And you have one of the hugest here. That's all. That's the only reason. No, I was talking about. This is just a temporary background. I'm planning on moving all my pictures onto that wall with the green screen. It's kind of a rip off of your wall. We've already talked about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen anyways. It's going to look cool, though, because it's going to be like, oh, my pictures are going to be floating in space. Or whatever the fuck I feel like
How
putting
much did they weigh that? How much did it all weigh?
The poster was 0.10 of a pound.
Okay, but what about the Pez?
Oh, we didn't weigh the Pez. I'm sure that's like 2-3 pounds.
Okay, so we'll say like 5 pounds.
I mean, you literally green screen my wall sometimes, so I can't be more of a rip off than that. That is, I did green screen your wall because I wanted it to be funny when you were here on the show, and now I just kind of want I want the remnants of Nixit. I want it to feel like Nixit could still be here on the show, but it's my wall. It's my pictures. My background, and then eventually when we do get you back on the show, when you feel like getting on the show again, you can have your cool background and my background and be like, oh, Queet. Queet. What the fuck was that? Oh, great.
Queet.
Yeah, you can be a guest on the show, of course. You're still a guest co-host, just like Julie's a guest co-host. Everyone who gets on the show is a guest
How do you
co-host.
spell that?
Queef.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
like that.
Like queef with a T.
With a T.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Oh.
We got that working on. Apparently, I'm getting a lot of
holy shit.
Instagram messages from people who are saying how much are they saying?
These are the 3 prices.
3 prices.
Yeah, depending on how we would try to send it to Musty, it would be at minimum $68 to send to him.
I mean, that's what I was kind of expecting before.
Musty, how much, if you don't mind sharing in chat, or
it's
you
a
can
fancy
send
queef with a T.
Oh my god.
That's so queet. All right, guys, we made a new word. Let's run with it.
Oh my god. Oh my
god. Greatest country on the planet.
Musty, how much did you spend, or Zombie, sorry, how much did you spend to try to ship to us the first time you tried to? When they said that you tried to send it to Nick's and they just didn't have the apartment.
Yeah, they didn't have the apartment number.
Which is dumb.
Right? It's just some fucking mail handler getting
If you don't mind sharing that, that would be awesome. Just because I just want to compare.
I mean, honestly, that's not that bad. But what is
40.
that a box? 40 euros?
How much does 40 euros translate to?
That's like $56.
Not
I was close.
45. Not
I was close.
In Price is Right terms.
It's $45.
It is $45. So that's not too bad. It's saying 68. I'll check some other stuff here, but
But
either way,
was that
we
just
will
saying
get
like
it
a
to
random
you.
box, or did you give the dimensions? Because
I gave the dimensions of 18 by 24 by 4 inches deep.
4 inches.
Well, it's not.
I've been told it's a little longer than 4 inches.
Just email me the poster and tell me how they taste. If we sent it separately, it would be cheaper. I think if we sent the poster and then sent the Pez separate.
I think it would be cheaper too. I also even looked into like going on Amazon and changing like the country and seeing if I could just like order something from Amazon. And
Okay, no, I lied. It's not any cheaper if I change it to just a poster frame. So I'm about ready to say, let's roll up the poster and the box and put it in like a bigger box, protect it, and then just buy a fucking poster protector and send it to him.
Just like throw money for like here you go, buy yourself a frame.
Buy yourself something nice, sweetie. Like
we'd have to get euros or whatever.
What? You can use dollars.
He can't use dollars. He's got to use euros.
You can use Cord. I did go to the United Kingdom. You can use dollars there. It's just not as widely as accepted. You can also
iron that bitch.
You can also go to any bank and exchange it.
Okay, fine.
We could go to our bank and exchange ours. He could go to his bank and exchange his.
We can go to our bank and get like euros.
He goes by pounds.
Pound. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I still have some, this is just the weirdest random thing, but like when we took over the world to have our own currency. The weirdest thing is like when you go to travel, does anybody else do this where like you go to travel and when you have a foreign currency that you have to exchange to, does anybody else like for some odd reason keep some of that currency just so you can say you had it? Because I still to this day I still have euros, pounds, francs.
How much pounds do you have?
Not many, I don't even know, but it's I'm so poor that when I travel. Oh, hey, thanks.
What are your thoughts on
Thanks for the cheer.
Thanks for the bit.
I don't personally know a lot about Brexit, but
we have Zombie here.
Zombie is here.
Is from England. What are your thoughts on the Brexit, sir?
Zombie, do you have a moment that maybe you could hop into the Discord chat and we could come on air and chat about Brexit? If you have an opinion or thoughts about it.
We can certainly get that going.
If not, don't feel obligated to. Let's see here.
But
I hate to be that typical American that says I don't know a lot about it, but I really I don't know enough to have an opinion on it, unfortunately. But I've definitely heard that there's a lot of controversy about it, and I wanted to learn more about it. I just haven't had a chance yet, being sick recently and all of that. That's when I've been thinking about it. In a word, it's bollocks. By the way, I listened to a phone call from somebody that that had like the sweetest British accent ever, and it reminded me of Zombie so much.
You mean there's somebody who doesn't?
But apparently every time that he calls us, he curses us out and says, that's a load of bollocks. And that's like, calls all sorts of names. Do I need to put my headphones in?
Yeah, I already have you plugged in, but you'll have to wear them if you want to hear them.
Well, of course I want to hear Musty's beautiful voice.
Oh, well, yeah, don't you know?
Why? Why do you do that?
I don't know. Alright, let's see. This is behind my camera, so I'm gonna lean over here for a little bit. Ready when you are, Musty.
Is he in the voice? Musty, if you just go to the general voice channel in our Discord, and we will drag you in. Oh my god.
What?
Nix.
Oh shit, Musty's gonna talk. I wasn't planning on masturbating against Chip and Shane. Let me just sort my shit out in 2 seconds. No problem. Well, we can wait for you. Just let us know when you're ready.
Please hold.
And Nick's like, hold on, I gotta get the lotion.
Yeah.
Woo! I was doing something. It was hilarious. But it's not working. Let's see if I can get it up.
Oh no. No, please don't. Please don't.
What?
I already know what you're doing.
What?
It's so horrible.
It's not horrible.
This is gonna look bad on stream.
It already does. Alright, hold on. Put you here.
It's like picture in picture. Oh my god. What are you doing?
Just looking at some stuff. Face mask.
It's already there. It's just somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to cheer, I think, right?
I think they have. Well, I think it's set up they have to donate.
Did you set it up so that it shuts off your camera?
Shuts off what camera?
When you're like, why is it not showing your picture anymore?
Oh, because I clicked this so they wouldn't see it.
Yeah, you gotta put it right over me. Turn it down. Alt.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
This is a little behind the scenes look right now. Don't forget to mirror it too. Or no.
No, we don't.
Yeah, you wanted it mirrored because you wanted to look at yourself. Oh, you are.
Yeah. Got the mask. Isn't that cool? There we go.
God.
Isn't that awesome, guys?
It's like I don't even have to be here. God damn it. I'm back here. Hi. Still part of the show.
Oh no, somebody donated.
Oh my god. If I punch you, does it?
Oh my god.
God, that looks so weird on stream.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh.
Is Musty in there?
Let's see
yet?
if Musty's in.
There he is.
There he is. All right. Woo. Musty, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can't hear him.
Oh no.
Oh, do you have to change your sound on your?
Yeah, I probably do.
Where you're. Hang on a second. If you're in, if you can hear us, Musty, hang on.
Let's see. No, it's all there.
Either Musty has to talk or one of you has to get naked because I already applied lotion. Do you have to unmute him on somewhere else or add him?
I think, or maybe we have to be in here. There we go.
There we are.
Can you hear us, Musty?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Hey, okay, I can hear you.
Okay,
Hello.
awesome.
Very awesome.
Let us know on stream. Hopefully everybody can hear on stream. I think you should be able to.
Very cool. Musty, how's it going?
It's not too bad. Just enjoying peace and quiet.
It sounds peaceful.
Well, now
there.
Well, it's the middle of the night, so you know everyone's in bed.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank God.
Are you enjoying the earlier start time so you're not having to stay up?
No, this is later. Usually it's about 9
You're
p.m.
right.
my
I'm
time.
sorry. I'm sorry.
now
I'm
it's
so
like-
off.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry, Musty.
I don't sleep anyway.
I'm
It's
sorry
fine.
about Julie.
I know. You can't take me anywhere. This is why we can't have nice things. It's all me.
No, it's fine.
So, Musty,
I'm always up.
can you tell us about the Brexit?
Well, what would you like to know?
What
Would you
is
like to know?
what is
Can
the
you
Brexit?
educate us? Because as Americans, we are
Us
poorly
filthy
educated.
swine Americans don't know
Okay, peasants.
anything us peasants.
Yes. I know the basic idea about what it is.
Well, the Cliff Notes, for anyone that's listening that doesn't have a clue, they've just heard this term. Essentially, we voted 2 years ago to leave the European Union, which is the single biggest trading bloc on planet Earth. So we decided to shoot ourselves in the foot, kick ourselves in the balls, and then tell 27 other countries to go fuck themselves, and then ask them to give us a better deal than when we were part of them. So that's essentially Brexit in a nutshell.
Okay.
So if you imagine Nebraska turning around to the rest of the United States and saying, listen, we've had a talk and we've decided that we don't want to be part of the United States anymore. However, we want better trade, better jobs, more money. Of the United States. That's probably the best way of putting it, because it's the 29th of March is when we leave, essentially, when we're supposed to leave the European Union, and we still haven't fully signed off on a deal yet. This happened 2 years ago. So we're still discussing it now, and we're in the midst of two possibilities. The biggest premise, or the two biggest premises on us leaving was regaining sovereignty of our country and controlling mass immigration. The things that are really important in life. Mm-hmm. And we are now looking at two options. One of them is the option that has been tabled by Theresa May, our Prime Minister in the European Union, which is essentially that we give up more rights. So essentially what will happen is if we leave and we can't come to an agreement, we go into what's called a backstop. And for that backstop to actually take effect, we have to ask permission from the European Union for us to leave. So we actually give up more of our rights as a country. So, that sorts out the people that really wanted sovereignty over our own nation. And for the others that wanted everything else, there's what's called the no deal Brexit, which essentially means on the 29th, 11 p.m. on the 29th of March, every single piece of legislation from the air to the ground, to trade, to people's movements, to the way we share information, to how much a Kit Kat bar costs, stops. So we essentially then become only the second country, other than a very small Polynesian island off the shores of Tonga, to be a country without any deal with any country anywhere in the world. That's essentially what we're looking at.
Wow.
So America doesn't sound so bad right now, yeah?
No.
No.
So yeah, it's pretty fucked up, to be honest with you. It's not a great thing. And essentially what happens is we have to negotiate ourselves onto what's called WTO, which is World Trade Organizational rules, which is no biggie. If we actually had a World Trade Organizational framework, but the only framework we have is with the European Union. So when we have to leave to then be able to negotiate our own framework. And the last country that did that, it took 7 years for them to negotiate trade prices. So basically what happens is, on something like milk, we automatically go from paying a set price, say £1 for 4 pints, or $1 for 4 pints of milk, to then paying £1.70 or $1.70 for that same product overnight. So everything goes up exponentially by as much as 60 to 70%, depending on what it is. It's very boring and very tedious, but it has very real consequences for a lot of people that were sold a lie that we were taking back control and we knew what we were doing. And it's morphed from when people first did it, we were never going to leave the trading bloc of the European Union, we're just going to leave their legislation, to now we're actually going to have to leave everything, or we're going to have to stay with them and give up our powers. So it's become like the devil or the deep blue sea. And whichever way the cookie's going to crumble, Britain's going to become a third world country pretty much overnight. So
it sounds like you were against Brexit happening.
Yes, I mean, essentially it works out like this. We are, like I said, we are part of the biggest trading bloc in the world. The European Union trumps, not for want of a better word, trumps anywhere else in the world. It's bigger than the United States market. It's bigger than the Russian market, the Chinese market. Nowhere is as big as the European Union. Is the European Union flawed? Sure it is, just like everyone else. But to say that we will be a more, because we are the sixth richest nation on the planet, and that's pretty big for a country that only has like 70 million people.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty good at stuff, and we are still the home of banking. But we essentially think that we are going to be able to continue on that. We're resting on our laurels. We're saying, well, we have a lot more to offer than they need to offer us. But that's not the truth, because at the end of the day, how long is it going to take for them to turn around and go, well, this is a fucking chore. We don't need, why don't we just set up our own banking system and we'll go over there? Then we don't have to worry about Britain being a petulant twat. So I'm totally against it. My issue is I would rather fix something from within than leave and then piss in the wind, essentially, on the whim of people. Most people that voted were one of two camps, either the over 40s, who essentially believed that in the British stiff upper lip and the fact that we won 2 world wars, not that we relied on other countries to win those 2 world wars. And also the fact that, Britain can get through anything. So, the estimation on us recovering, ballpark, is around about 40 years. So it's going to take about 40 years for us to possibly get back to where we were pre-Brexit. But yeah, no, I think, and plus we're going to lose. I mean, my kids who don't have a say, that don't have a vote, will not be able to travel and live in Europe without a visa or a green card, which is, it's hard to understand for a lot of people. But the fact that I can walk onto a plane with little more than a bit of photo identification and live in Italy, in Spain, in Estonia, in Macedonia, the fact that we're now going to not have that system. And basically it was won by 52 to 48.6. Mm-hmm. So not a large margin. And yet we've had nothing but imagine if Trump won, which obviously that happened. But then imagine if, actually it's pretty much the same. Just change Trump's name to Brexit and you've pretty much got our life for the last 2 years. They've literally run in parallel. So we get Brexit news and Trump news. You guys get Trump news and like sprinkles of Brexit dabbed here, there, and everywhere. It is 100% divided the country. Racial profiling and racial attacks have gone up by, I think it's 26% over the last couple of years. People shouting, "Get out of my country, you don't belong here anymore." Plus, we have this small problem of Ireland. I don't know what you know about Ireland as a country. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of people from America that have a strong lineage to Ireland, because you have a huge immigration from Ireland, or the island of Ireland, should I say. But not 40 years, or not even that. 40 years ago, we were at war with Ireland, or part of Ireland, should I say. We had huge bombs, people killed left, right, and centre. My own mom was blown through a wall in the Birmingham pub bombings in 1976, I think it was, where her 2 best friends were killed and her boyfriend lost both his legs because of an IRA bomb. There used to be signs up back when we were a really racist country, which basically said no dogs, no Irish, no black people. They were up everywhere. People don't talk about our history of racism. I mean, America has because America kind of wins that race. It is one of the few things that everyone agrees that America is number one at your kind of murky past.
Yeah, but we're number one. Yay.
Yeah, we're number one. We're not far behind you. I mean, yeah, we colonized half the world. Most of the world that celebrates Independence Days is because of us. We don't have an Independence Day. Everyone else has an Independence Day, and guess who it's from? Us. Mm-hmm. But we also brought in a load of immigrants from India and the West Indies in the 60s and 70s to help rebuild from the war. They also helped us win that World War, not for nothing. And then we treated them like absolute cockroaches. And the same is happening again. And it's a sad place to be. If you listen to the news in this country, the division is disgusting. You have these camps of just people that pretend they have a new one. Everyone's an economist these days. I don't know if you get that over in your country, but everyone seems to have taken a degree in fucking economics.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of people that speak to me and I have arguments with on Twitter or wherever about their grasp of the financial situation, how we're going to get out of this. And then you chip at that for 2 seconds and it turns into, I don't like brown people. I don't want them to come over here. I don't want immigration. I don't want this. I don't want that. I want to be an isolationist. I want to say fuck you to the world. But not for nothing. The only thing we make over here is customer service in call centers and chocolate. And that, last time I checked, that's not really going to hold us up. The chocolate will help. It'll help ease the pain.
Yeah.
But the call, you can't really call the customer service of why the fuck did we leave Europe?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a long queue. So yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all, to be honest with you. And I'm not looking forward to the next, because basically what's happening now is our parliament's trying to horseshoe this deal through because they say it's the only deal that's available. We have no party. We have the Conservatives, which is the right wing, so they're kind of like the Republicans. We have Labour, which is the kind of left wing, the kind of Democrats, and we have no leadership. The leadership of the Conservatives has had a no confidence vote already overturned. The leader of my party, the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, who started out really good and has now turned into a fucking wet blanket from hell, just has no say on the situation. So we're fucked, essentially, and it's almost it's going to end up in either a civil war or just outright dissension on the streets.
So
but 2019 is going to be a great year.
Yeah. Gotta love the positivity there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
so,
it's go on.
Sorry. What do you think is that gonna do then? Is that gonna force people that live there currently to immigrate somewhere else, whether it be another place in Europe or in the United States?
We have roughly over 1 million what's called expats. So we have a huge expatriate spaces in Spain, in Portugal. There's various places, and basically within Europe, there's 3 pillars to be part of the European Union and be part of their framework. You have to have free trade, free movement of people, and free movement of money. Those are the 3 pillars. And unfortunately, if you're going to cut your nose off to spite your face, essentially those expats. Because to be an expat, if you're away from the country, I think in the UK it's more than 2 years. If you live abroad for more than 2 years, you actually no longer can, although you're called an expat, you're no longer strictly British. And it's the same in the United States. The thing that makes me laugh about people when people talk about immigration numbers, 2/3 of our immigration is people returning from other countries. So from Australia, from America, from Europe. No one ever talks about that. So when they talk about immigration, our own expats coming back is actually lumped into that, which accounts for almost 2/3 of that number.
Mm-hmm.
But so we've got a million plus expats that will literally become stranded in Europe if a no deal Brexit goes through. And we have literally every job that we can think of that we have become too entitled to do ourselves. So most nurses we have in this country are Eastern European or from Africa or from the Indies or from the Philippines. We have very few English nurses because, to be quite frank with you, you get paid for the job, you get paid like shit, you are worked to death, and the only people that are willing to do it are people that have had a life that hasn't given them the opportunities that being British it has, whether you're white, black, or anything in between. It's not just a white thing, it's a British thing. So we have that. We have things like cleaners, huge swathes. The NHS at the moment, as a country, has over 180,000 jobs that cannot be filled because Europeans are not coming here at the moment because they're too scared to, and our own country folk don't want to do it. So it's sickening. Because the same people that piss and moan about immigration will be going to Dr. Patel to get their prescriptions done, will be seeing Nurse Pachitsky to get their fucking drip changed, will be seeing Miss Untumbo to wipe their fucking ass in a hospital. We rely, like the US, our country was built on immigrants. We're immigrants. There's no natural ownership of the UK. We're all from Germany and France. We were fucked here, essentially. We were taken over, bent over, and fucked. The Celts are the real people that own this isle, and we took over from that, same as in America. You guys came over and did a shady deal with some Native Americans, bought a load of land, and then slaughtered the rest of them. There's no such, and it pisses me off. The word the immigrant argument has gone on for time immemorial. There's always too many people. There's always not enough for everybody else. It's utter bullshit. Because I live in the biggest, the most visited city, second most visited city next to Shanghai on the planet. London is a huge tourist town. I've lived in cities all my life. I have bled, sweated, and laughed, cried next to every colour creed that this world pretty much has to offer. People are people. I don't give a fuck what accent you have. I don't give a fuck what background you have. I don't give a fuck what God you worship. I don't care. As long as you speak a language of humanity, I don't care. It doesn't mean that I'm against undocumented immigration. I'm not. I am for people having an opportunity to live where they see fit and are willing to work for that process and for that life. And the ironic thing, much like I imagine in America, the thinner the shade of brown, the more the hatred lies deep. It's funny that in England, which has far less immigration, brown people, black people, are the ones that are the most fearful, because we're now, education has become a buzzword for not to be trusted in this country. If you are educated, if you have a nuanced opinion, if you have some real fucking truth to tell, you are completely deplatformed because you're a globalist or you are too centralist. Has become another one of these vilified words. Since when has an education and a nuanced outlook on the world become bad? Well, because the people that have fed you that information also so happen to own the newspapers, the radio, and the TV. So why is it you believe millionaires and billionaires who pump this information into your ears, but the millionaires and billionaires that tell you it's wrong are the ones that are at fault? I don't understand. And this whole couple of years, I'll stop ranting in a second, this whole couple of years between what's happening in your country and what's happening in my country has really shown me, unfortunately, how dumb human beings actually are and can be. And I would tell anyone that's listening to your amazing podcast, which I love and stay up for regularly, go and watch. There's a very famous speech from Snowden who talks about how the ownership of history is who owns the internet now. The people that can alter history. Basically, if you delete something in the Western world, like a historical event, it literally disappears from the world because we own the narrative. We can make actual elements of history and bend narratives at our will. And I don't think enough people actually grasp how important and frightening that should be to everyone. So when people talk about they want to take over how information is sourced, like Article 13, it's going to affect people in the UK being able to consume content in the US, and people in the US are going to be able to stream content to people like us in the UK and the rest of Europe. That's where they should actually fight and share that information out, because that's what they're going for. They're not playing the short-term game. They're playing the long game. These are the beginnings of the next revolution. These are the beginnings of the next war that's going to be fought. It's not going to be fought on the ground. It's not going to be fought with guns and planes and drones. It's going to be fought with information and influence. And it worked in Germany. I know everyone harks back to Nazi Germany, but there was no YouTube, there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, there was no Snapchat, there was no social media of any way, shape, or form. There was pen, paper, and word of mouth. And look what a country did, being fed lies and disinformation. Look what Germany did. Look what Germany almost did. How do you think it will work out this time round when you have a monopoly of United States of owning most of the armies in the world and everyone bowing down and looking to them for help and solace? What happens when that stops? Because it will. One thing that history tells us, things change. What happens when America stops being the superpower that it is? I hope it never happens, but it will happen someday. I hope I'll be long dead in the ground. But what happens when that stops? What happens when the other people with the information? Look at Russia now. Look what Russia is doing now. Look what Turkey is doing now. Look what Saudi Arabia is doing now. Look what Israel is doing now. These are not coincidences. Why is it all these countries are lined up like ducks in a row? Why is that? Why are they all forming together? Why do they all have this kind of brotherhood together? Even though they come from completely different colours, creeds, backgrounds, gods, worship standards, practices, laws, why is it they all agree on one thing? Disinformation works. And anyway, I'll stop ranting there because I've hogged enough of you two talking.
Oh, no, you're fine. I'm just like sitting because I'm trying to take in all of the information because that's a lot that I had no idea what was going on. I mean, not to sound like a typical American that's ignorant,
like we've
but
said in the past, it's harder for us Americans to be.
Of course, but you've got to think.
World.
Well, yeah, well that's the thing. I mean, if you open, I mean, what browser do you guys use at home typically?
Usually it's like Google Chrome or
Chrome. So the main things people use is Mozilla, Chrome, Edge. Some use ones like Brave and so on and so forth. The reason why everyone in this world, or the majority of people in this world, think that everyone seems to. Why, have you ever thought of why? You know, when you do a search on something, so you go, oh no, I want to buy a new shade of lipstick, or I want to buy a new car, or I want to get this, and then everyone's had that where they've searched something that all of a sudden that shit starts popping up everywhere. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden you start, and it'll start popping up in your Facebook. It'll start popping up on adverts here, there, and everywhere. Why is it that people never think of well, okay, what about if I talk about I like. I don't know, Nancy Pelosi, or I like the Democrats, or I like this. All of a sudden, that same algorithm that singles out those pages, singles out that information, then goes, let me bend and shape. And what happens is people's realities get warped, and then all they see are things that they agree with. All they see are things that they like. This is why I actively, when I read a news story, I read everything from The Guardian to the Daily Caller. Now, the Daily Caller is a racist, disgusting, nasty piece of filth that you have to really have the stomach to digest. Why do I do that? Because you have to know where hate lives. You have to know what hate thinks. And all this deplatforming, because you've seen it with Alex Jones being completely removed from YouTube and Twitter and this, that, and the other. You've had it with Milo. You've got stuff going on with Patreon, where they're deplatforming right-wing, like the Assad, I can never pronounce his bloody name properly, and Stephen Crowder and other people. They're now losing their platforms. Free speech is all or nothing. Free speech is not to protect the speech you like, it's to protect the speech that you don't like, because then it's fair for everybody. Just because you think somebody's vile and disgusting does not mean that they do not have a right to say it. There is always an exemption to the rule, and the rule is usually if it invokes violence against others, if it promotes death, rape, so on and so forth, which we can all agree on is a good thing. Mm-hmm. But when people start deplatforming people, saying, well, you don't agree with what I think, so it's got even worse now, where big corporation companies are now saying, well, I think I'm going to get too much shit from your point of view, so I'm going to get rid of you, because then that will protect me from a shitstorm, because now everyone's become obsessed with the outrage. As soon as anything comes out, as soon as anyone has an opinion, you've got these cheeping birds that go, I'm outraged, I think you're this, you can't say that, you're racist, you're worse than Hitler, you're this. And that is the single worst thing that you can do, because how long until they turn that shit round to us? It will go full circle. How about when everything leans slightly right of centre rather than left of centre like it is at the moment? What happens then? And then all the left people get deplatformed. You have to let everything be how it is. If somebody says something shitty, it's people's choice. They'll either unsubscribe, they'll stop supporting them, they'll take their money away. If you really are, say the Republicans say the free market, let the market dictate. That's the truest form there is. Let them fucking say whatever they like. If someone wants to say that they want everyone to die and I want this, that, and the other, I believe in fundamentalist Islam. Okay, fine. If I believe in white supremacy, okay, fine. Now we can have a conversation about it. If you just say I like this, and you go, nope, sorry, you can't talk to anybody now. Well, all that does is it pushes it all underground, and this is where real racism comes from. This is where real hatred comes from. This is where real fear of retaliation. And this is why we keep seeing it pop up. This is why we keep seeing all these hate crimes that keep popping up. Look at that poor girl that was literally in a car. Was it yesterday? In somewhere in America, I can't even remember where. And some guy just drove up to the car, unloaded his handgun into the side of the car, and killed the 7-year-old little girl in front of her mum and her other kids. And apparently that was just down to because he didn't like the colour of the skin of the person that was in the car. They're the people that everyone should be going after, not someone that goes like Alex Jones, who's basically just a fucking crackhead with a TV camera.
This is a loud guy.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Alex Jones, for better or worse, is an entertaining motherfucker. Mm-hmm. I enjoy watching Alex Jones. I don't pay any attention to what he says because he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I just think he's funny to watch. And I'm left as fuck. I am left until I die. I have progressive views from top to bottom. There is nothing that I agree with other than the free speech angle. But even his angle is disingenuous. He's doing it because he wants to protect his own arse and earn more money. Yeah. I want to protect it because I want him to be able to speak so other people can go, Jesus Christ, that guy's a lunatic. And then just shelf him on that lunatic shelf of the other lunatics and then move on with their day. That's how the world should work. And unfortunately, we're all, because of ease of consumption, we just put up with it. We put up with things being crazy because it's easier. And it's not how it should be. Life is supposed to be a bit of a fucking grind. This is why we have so much mental health in the world, because people are bored. Everything's automated. Everything's done for you. What's the need? You don't need to do anything. And I'm the worst person for that. I sat there and gained so much weight that it almost killed me. I lost a leg over it. I'm still dealing with the consequences of that because of the consumption, because of fear and consumption, mental health. Oh my God, I'm alone. I must eat, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes on in a cycle. Thankfully, I was able to get out of it, but it's the same for so many people. And it's sad, and this is why nowadays I don't have Facebook. Having a Facebook for over a year now, happier than a motherfucker. Really am. It's the best thing in the world because it proves to you that life goes on. But people have become so reliant on how many people like my picture of my granola that I took this morning. How many people were inquisitive over me saying that I wasn't very happy this morning? How many people private messaged me? How many people pretended that they were interested in my life? There's an episode of Black Mirror that I fucking love that's all about social media. I can't remember the name of it, but
I know which one you're talking about.
Epic.
The one about the rating system.
Yeah, and there's Black Mirror. There's never a truer sense, and we're there. We're literally there. Yeah. Look at who do people listen to more? Who has more influence? Our politicians or the fucking morons that are on YouTube or Twitch or Instagram? The real big players, the people that appeal to the 12-year-olds and this and the other. It's anyway.
So, are you planning on just staying off of Facebook, or are you wanting to get off of Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff?
Well, with me, it's more the fact that I engage. I can't help. I'm like a red rag to a bull. So basically, if I see stupidity out there, I can't help myself, even with my friends. So essentially what happens is, or what happened with Facebook is, I would get to a point where someone would put I had my ex-best friend, a really quick story. Basically, she would put up on there, she would literally have a conversation with her girlfriend as if no one else was there. So she would literally type on her page or put a status up, and then they would have this conversation like no one else, like it was just them. And it drove me berserk. So I'm like, why? Why is this happening? Why am I getting peppered with how many times you've blinked in the last fucking hour?
Yeah.
Or how many times you say, I love you. No, I love you more. So I just chimed in. I was like, both of you shut the fuck up. You know that phones were invented for a reason, so I don't have to watch your lives tick by.
Yeah.
Because I would get alerts of all this shit going on. And this kept happening. But also because I argue for a living, some could say. So I'm always on Twitter. I'm always, and that's probably the next thing that will go. That's probably the next thing I will knock on the head, because that is becoming a slight obsession of mine. It's like we have an Islamic mayor. So Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, believes in Islam. He's a Muslim man. Like that fucking matters. He's still a politician at the end of the day. That should count more than anything. He's a shitty politician. His race has nothing to do with it. His God has nothing to do with it. But literally, we've had a bit of a knife crime problem in this country for last year. Or no, sorry, a supposed knife crime problem. It's been a problem. Don't get me wrong, but if you look at the statistics, we're actually lower than we were 5 years ago. We have a slight uptick compared to last year, but it's become this big fucking thing. So Sadiq Khan could literally take a picture next to a puppy crying onto a child, and he would say, "Isn't this sad?" And someone would go, "Well, yeah. What about the knife crime?" And you just all these racist bigots. So what I tend to do now is I live on Sadiq Khan's Twitter, and I love picking off moron after moron after moron by just hitting them with facts. I just enjoy the fuck out of it. But so that'll probably be the next one to go. Facebook, I'll never darken that doorstep ever again, unless it then becomes law, which it might be in the future, I suppose, when we all get microchipped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really use Facebook that much anymore. I just dump memes on there.
Facebook has become. I've noticed a lot of the bubble kind of that you were talking about a little bit ago, about how I'm only seeing stuff that I like, minus the few family members or whatever that may have different political views than me. Other than that, I'm seeing the same stuff over and over when I scroll through, and it gets so tiring and just old. So I don't use Facebook that much. I honestly haven't been doing a lot on social media in general.
I've never really,
other than for the podcast.
I could never get into Twitter, because I'm not that kind of person who just wants to like blurt out what he feels or wants to say. I'm mostly, I guess, I'm either on iPhone, Instagram, or right now I've been doing TikTok, ashamed to say, but I've been watching.
Oh my God.
TikTok.
Hang your head in shame, sir.
I don't know.
I'll have to look you up.
I'm on TikTok too. I really love.
I haven't done.
I want to be Bastion.
Yep.
I haven't done any videos. I just watched everyone else's videos that they put on there. But yeah,
my main thing with social media was because of my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been tech savvy, and always been into. Although Twitter, I didn't get for the longest time. I was just like 120 characters. Why?
Right.
Yeah.
But now I kind of dig it a little bit, because it's just like it's like these little brain farts. You just like shoot off into the atmosphere and just see what happens. But this is the thing as well, because what happens is when Twitter like 5 years ago is completely different to how Twitter is now. Twitter 5 years ago had same as Instagram, was pretty much borderless. So essentially, I could say, like, I don't know, take a picture of an interesting meal that I had maybe, and then go, well, that was interesting. I might share that with the world. Say, this was the best avocado on toast I've ever had. Hashtag Avo on toast. and then every other lemming that liked Avo on toast would then go, I agree with him, and I get like 200 or 300 clicks or whatever, maybe a follow or two. And now what's happened is they've paywalled a lot of stuff off, because they want to monetize different elements of their platform. So what happens now is you'll post the same thing out now, and you'll just have crickets. And that's what's happening, is, again, you're being ring-fenced. So you have to say more and more obscure, outlandish shit to gain any traction, which is why you get these people go. I mean, who thought in 2017 that we would have on YouTube a man and a woman who decided to hold up a phone book against their chest and discharge a bullet into it for views. And the guy ended up dying. Who would have thought in a million years that people would get that thirsty for fake attention, that they would risk their own existence for the sake of someone going, oh, that's funny, I'm going to share that shit. And that's the problem. The more you paywall something off, is where people, the people that have, it's not they don't have talent, they have unrealized talent, they have untapped potential. It's the same as Ninja. How many ninjas do you think there are on Twitch right now? How many people do you think there are with the name Ninja?
Oh, right.
How many people do you think that stream Fortnite 24/7, calling themselves like Ninja One, the true Ninja, Ninja Toast? Like it's because what happens is a load of people just flip like a moth to a flame from one thing that's going, will that get me views? Will that get me views? Will this get me views? Will that get me views? Will that get me? And it's an endless cycle, and people do more and more and more crazy shit, and it's going to keep on going until and this is what people want to a certain degree, because then they can go, you can't be trusted with that. So what we're going to do is we're now going to make it. We're going to take it away for a lot of people, and then we're going to dictate who can have access to it going forward. And you've seen it with YouTube, it happened. Have you seen it with Instagram, it's happened. Have you seen it to an extent with Facebook? Snapchat's gone the same way. Twitter's gone the same way. Patreon's gone the same way. Literally every platform now is being morphed and engineered to cut more and more people off, but yet get more and more people involved in it. So more and more people become the consumer / wannabe. And you have fewer and fewer people that are actually making it out there, that are actually getting the money that they deserve from the content they create. And Twitch really is like the last bastion of that. They kind of really are the last guard on the wall, because we have elements of it, but it's not as bad. Twitch still is pretty Wild West. The owners of Twitch have got some big balls, because the amount of copyright claims they must get in a week must be astounding. Because there isn't a boxing match that goes by that you don't see like 100 people streaming that shit.
Yeah.
And Twitch just kind of whistles into the wind and goes, "Well, we didn't see it, so it didn't happen. And no one saw it happen." So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna go that way. But this is where people talking about it and sharing ideas and information is the most important. That's why I'm so much about community when it comes to Twitch, because Twitch is incredible engagement for communities. And this is why, like Maven's Madness that was there earlier, she's actually someone that I've met, and I was actually on a podcast that she does called Nerd Surge months ago now. And she's a streamer herself, and it's engaging with those people. And I told them about this podcast. I said, I really love this podcast, the MVM podcast. I've been on it a couple of times, and I really love engaging in the chat and stuff like that. And then she pops up, and that's the shit I love. I love having a conversation with someone, planting a seed, and then watching that seed grow, because that person goes, I'm going to check that shit out. I'm going to go and watch this. And then hopefully that will then move on. And that's how things grow. And I love that. And I want nothing to do with anything that isn't about that sort of engagement. I think it's pointless and it's inane. It gives no meaning to anybody. I would rather be broke and engage with people than be kind of comfortable or rich and literally be hitting my head against a brick wall for views. I don't see the point of it at all.
Well,
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you so much for shouting out the podcast, though.
Yeah,
that's
awesome. Like that's like
I shout it out all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you guys, yourself, Cord, and you, Laureline. The thing is, I got to know you because I dropped in randomly on your first podcast. I think it was.
Yeah, it sure was.
And then I nixed it back then, liked being in front of a camera and was streaming. So I was like, okay, I'll watch him. And I really got into his stream, and I'm still pissed that he's not doing it anymore, but okay, whatever. And then but then I loved it that because I like the fact that the thing about Twitch that I think is better than anything is the fact that I can watch somebody's ideas play out on camera, and I can go, well, actually, I have this idea, so I'll type it out, and then you guys will read it, react to it, either agree with it, disagree with it, or discuss it. And very rarely do you get with people that are across the world that have had no interaction up until that point. Someone that even that twat waffle that was here earlier that was trying to say stuff and get people to say stuff earlier on. There's no other platform where that kind of happens. Mm-hmm. So when you find people that you agree with and you like and you enjoy, you gotta talk about that shit. Everyone can say, "Oh, I watched Shroud today and I really enjoyed his stream." Yeah, well, what about the other 257,000 people that were on there putting their heart and souls into their fucking streams? Mm-hmm. What about those guys? So when I get and what I really enjoy, obviously the chemistry you and Nixie have, but I love the chemistry that you and Laureline have, because it's obviously different. You and Nixie are friends, but you and Laureline, you share a life together. You've given life together.
Yeah.
So that you can't fake that shit. That there is a level of honesty that even a look from Laureline to you can provoke a reaction, because you know what that look means. Yeah. If you get out of hand and she shoots you that look, which I have seen, mm-hmm. Then you know, and that's lovely to see. And the fact that you both have something to say that's interesting, that's what I love. And that's the thing that brings you back again. So of course I'll speak to. There's this. I would say anyone, not to, as long as I can shout someone out on this podcast, or should I say shout out a tribe of ferocious positive people. There's a group called the Yam Fam, which it's head up by, I forget her name now, but anyway, that's not important. No, Ashley Christ, that's it. She's a streamer. She's a partner. So she's partnered up with Twitch, but she has a whole network of streamers that support each other. The whole point of them is that they go from stream to stream to stream to stream, and they show love and they talk and they spread the word, and they do it as one cohesive unit. So from one person to the other, they all share a similar belief structure, and they all share a similar kind of outlook. And that I love. And I would suggest anyone go and just check out a couple of their streams. But you have the antithesis of that. And that's why, yeah, okay, sometimes you only have like 2 or 3 people drop in and say hello or whatever. But fuck it. Don't give up on that. Keep plugging. I know it gets hard. Look, I've not streamed too much, mainly because of health reasons, but I'm not giving up. I don't care about who's watching, how many followers I have, how many views, if I'm not, if I'm this, if I'm that. The fact that I talk enough as it is, so just the fact of talking, that's enough. So don't give up, don't stop talking, because it will happen. It just takes a long time. And that's the thing that people aren't willing to do. They're not willing to put the time in, because life is not free, unfortunately. And things like this are kind of, we want it to pay off, but unfortunately there's a long process into getting that. But you'll do it. I know you will. I have faith.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. So
we'll check out Yam Fam, right?
It's the Yam Fam. They're a group of them, but Ashley Christ is the main one. You'll. I mean, there's a lot to forget, but the if you check her out when she's doing her just chats and stuff, the way that everyone talks, the way that everyone interacts, there is no that negativity is not tolerated in the slightest, whether it be from trolls or whether from people just being down on themselves. Not tolerated, and that shit's infectious. It really is.
Yeah,
it's just nice to see, and it's what Twitch in an ideal world should be. Unfortunately, it's not, but as long as that exists, I'll always be a part of Twitch for that alone, because that's what keeps me going. Because it's hard, because for me, because I'm not well, and I spend a lot of time kind of up at night because I can't sleep very well. This for me is like kind of my kind of therapy, because I get to engage with people and share ideas and have friendships. Let's be real. But yeah, it's just a nice thing to see. So definitely go check them out, but not when the MVM podcast is on, because that shit's important.
Wow, we love you so much over here.
Yeah.
And,
hey, if you want to,
we love you too.
If you want to send us information, I tried searching for that person you were talking about, but if you maybe want to like DM us with their info or something.
Yeah, I'll type the main person in chat now, but it's I'll send you all the information across.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead. Sadly, we're gonna have to end it because apparently we have a bunch of fan mail just coming in under the door from our son. Apparently, he needs our attention now.
I'm gonna go look and see what it is.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and have to end the episode here, but Musty, you're always welcome. We love you so much.
Anytime. I'm always about.
I'm gonna try to get that sent out to you as soon as possible. Oh, what do we got here? Are you done yet? Give back when done.
See, this could just be just like a veiled plot. So you could actually have like someone captive.
Yeah.
And these are their like attempts to like call out for help, and you're just kind of reading them out like some like sociopath going, yeah, you want to help.
Could be.
All right, guys. Well, I'll leave you to it anyway. But thanks a lot. Keep it up. I'll speak to you soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, you're welcome. Anytime.
Have a beautiful rest of your night. Hopefully
you take care. Never. That'll never happen, but I'll try.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for showing up here in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for participating. Chat was wonderful tonight. I still have to go back and find the dark part that Loreline told me about, or Julie, whatever you want to call her. Anyways,
whoever I am.
Check out that merch store, please.
You'll have to do the commands because I died.
We're probably not really making a whole lot of money on there, are we? Was it commands like that?
Yeah, but you can just do merch.
You cannot find a list of commands.
Oh, Stream Elements is taking over.
Dang, Stream Elements.
Darn it. Can you do merch? Does that work at all?
I assume not. If Stream Elements does it. Maybe. It might work. Anyways,
maybe not. But
go here at the bottom of the page where it says merchandise. Just click merch.
Yeah.
Take you to our merch store on Teespring. We still have the classics up. I think we'll probably just keep them up anyways.
Yeah.
But at the bottom, we've got the new logo shirts. Got a Musty mug. I promise, Musty, I'm gonna get myself one so I can sip on something with a Musty mug during the podcast. Loreline still won't let me get one. I don't know why. But you'd think she would let me. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for showing up. Remember, it's Thursdays at 6 p.m. Got some other things coming in. Hopefully, when Streamlabs OBS works out the song request, I can have that set up during the pre-stream where you shout to request anything. Real quick, thank you, Adamix is back for following. I'm a big X for following. Mike Ashley out. Thank you for the bits. Cheering. And thank you, Loreline, for the resub, Nixit for the resub, and Zombiefoot Gooding. Zombiefoot Gaming.
Forgetting.
AKA Musty. Thank you so much for resubbing. You guys are awesome. We will see you next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. Have a beautiful day.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.